It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Panthers and the Giants, and it comes your way next.
We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Carolina Panthers. Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon, and we are underway from MetLife Stadium. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He finds Smith out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
And they'll try the jet sweep here. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Complete. Smith has it. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally, and then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Back to throw here. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up, Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They'll look to throw again. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball. Could not hang on. Second down coming up.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Stops short of the 25, but that second effort got him a couple extra. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going to the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And his kick is good. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. So here are the Giants under head coach Joe Judge. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that told me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. First carry of the ball game now. It's C.J. Anderson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Now Sims. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Sims. Well, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And the Giants send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their second drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Foster. Dancing away at the 35. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. A give left side, Foster. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beat. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They have 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. Nothing after 1 on EA Sports. Panther football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. A shotgun handoff now, Foster. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. And he's going to get this pretty close to the 1st down marker at the Giants' 31.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll try and run for it with Foster. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have.
Good job over there, baby. I see y'all. Good job over there, baby.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Oh, yeah, good job, fellas, good job.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll drop to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Dances by him, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still third down.
How crucial will those 5 yards be? We'll see as they come up again here, 3rd and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is indeed good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Off the play fake. Sims in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Get him, boys.
He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
A CD, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Cross. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 14. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
On 3rd down, Hampton, and he'll get this one up to about his 14. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Open man here is Prohl. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium.
Five yards remain on 2nd down.
They'll look to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you had. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll look to throw here. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
That's how we do it.
Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's the Panthers punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This will be fielded at the 17. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10.
Back on offense, New York gets set to take over.
And looking at this situation, Charles, you got more than a minute. You've got all 3 timeouts. Probably no need to play this safe.
So what you're saying is that we're doing a little bit of a mind meld here, aren't we? Because I'm thinking along the same lines as you. This amount of time, don't be compelled to play it too safe. This is a chance to get points on the board. Press it a little bit.
Especially since a touchdown here gets you the lead.
Here we go, D. It's just me and you.
On 1st down, Sims. He finds his man, complete. That's Baker. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And this one is incomplete.
I believe I'm following their logic. Take the big shot downfield, loosen things up. You're hoping to get some points on the board before the half. Maybe now you come back and throw some underneath stuff in order to make sure you get a completion.
Second and 10.
Looking to throw. Sims. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
First down now, but the clock continues to move. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The Giants going to burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Back to throw again. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Back to throw. Sims. Now he's flushed out left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A good pickup, but it will come on what should be the final play in this first half. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Carolina. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
The Giants set to get the football, and they trail here as we get back underway in the second half.
And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Giants about set to go to begin this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
throwing on first down. Sims. He finds his man, complete. That's Baker. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Looking to throw. Sims, he's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. It's a big-time play there for the G-men. And you need a big play? Go to your big play guy.
Listen, that's football 101. When you have to have it, you expect that guy to step up. A lot of people call these receivers divas. Sometimes just leadership when they get in the huddle and say, get me the ball. I'm about to make a big play.
On 1st and 10, Sims. His throw incomplete.
Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses, because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion force there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. From the gun, Sims. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium.
On 4th down, Joe Judge makes the decision. They're going for it.
Running for it. Here's Anderson. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Anderson. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Sims. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand.
Yeah, the Giants are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Giants have tied it here, and they can take the lead if they hit the PAT.
So it was the pass passing game that got him down here. The closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
Extra point attempt to come here. He's got it, and they take the lead at 7-6. So that was a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Second and 6. Looking here for Smith downfield. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big play that time through the air. 38 yards.
That's a great job of working the sideline right there. I love how he tracked the football the whole way. Just reached up and pulled it in. Had excellent field presence to understand where he was in order to make that play happen.
A first down carry for Foster. Oh, good move. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. He'll look to throw. It's caught. Smith.
7 yards to pick up there.
They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
On 2nd down, Davis. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
The Panthers on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Again, it's Davis. And Davis, he's not going to get there. Unable to make it to the yellow line. They stop him short. He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard. Got to kick it, right? I mean, even the short yardage, you boot this thing, don't you?
Yeah, but I know how aggressive you are. I know what you want. You want to go for it, don't you? You're feeling it, aren't you?
Yeah, but treat it like a football game, not like Madden.
I like that. Fight the temptation, kick the field goal, because if you go for it and don't get it, you put a lot on your defense in a short amount of time.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for a 4th quarter lead. And his kick here is good. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. New York ready to go again offensively. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Off play action. Sims. Throws right side, and that's complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line.
You gotta be kidding me.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. He's got a man, complete. And all the way down to the 35. A big play there for the Giants.
Well, this is where an offense needs to show what it's made of, and in fact, where a quarterback needs to show what he's made of, trying to engineer a 4th quarter comeback, and he hits a big one right there.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. From the gun, Sims. He finds his man, complete. It's Hampton. Not much there, only a yard. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Sims. And his throw here's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
A field goal from this spot would be 51 yards. They'll try to move it closer on 3rd down. Back to throw. Sims. He's got it to Ingram, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know This is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On first down, Sims. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They give it to Anderson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On third down, Sims. And he's got it. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And they take the lead here by a point, 10-9.
Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. So now the Panthers down by 1. And time, a huge factor. Now their lead is evaporated, but they still have a shot on first down.
First down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 16-yard line.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game.
So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You have to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
And a quick throw here that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Brandon, it's okay what they're doing right now. Still able to work the middle of the field, but you know sooner or later they're going to have to stop the clock.
Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A give, Foster running right. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. He's back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. A give. This is Foster. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Clock's under a minute. Still plenty of time, partner. They have all 3 timeout.
That means they have plenty of options in their play calling and where they target on the field. They can throw it downfield, maybe even in the middle, and use their timeouts.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And it is incomplete, so they can't convert for 2. And now the lead stays at 5.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
This fielded right at the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
Here we go.
New York's offense back out there and set to go.
One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
This is where hustle and urgency come into play. I think you got to get up there and spike it.
First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Baker. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.